Morning everyone. Today I want to talk to you about the three most important financial reports, how to get them set up and how to use them to drive your business by numbers. So this was a question in a statement really in the Runpreneur community by my current finance director, Richard Duffy, who is amazing accountant, and he kind of runs the whole of the financial side of my business now, and we've kind of put the systems and processes in place only really relatively recently, probably the last 4 months or so. I think we started working together, and it's been a hugely beneficial process kind of going through, and it feels like the weight gets lifted off your shoulders when you get this right. So it's I'll dive deep into this in a second, but it's a Tuesday morning, quite windy, decent running conditions, quite mild, but it's Tuesdays are now all things business systems and outsourcing. I think we have a van that's going to come and run me off the road in a second, so see if he's coming or not. No, he's pulling over, so that's good. But yeah, this is a biggie, and I was introduced to Richard by my good friend Josh Keegan as part of his the Profit Process program, which is an amazing program for entrepreneurs who don't really generate the profits they should from their business, and there's a few little things you can kind of do, or lots of things you can do, but it's a real roadmap to taking your business from kind of wiping its face to hopefully scaling up and being extremely profitable. And Richard was introduced to me, as I said, by Josh, and the main aim for the first meeting was to understand what we do, why we do it, but also to look at what reports we're going to need and how we can use them moving forwards. And that's where Richard came into his own. And I think the key thing here is Richard isn't just an accountant. Morning. Although he does fulfill normal kind of accounting practices and fulfills the role as an accountant as well. He does my tax returns, all those things as well. And but he does a lot more than that. He takes on the role as a financial director. Now you can have accountants that just do the bare minimum and get paid for it, and you can get accountants that work with you and actually help drive your business forward, and this is exactly what Richard does, and that's why he's not my accountant, he's my financial director, an outsourced financial director, and it's been one of the best kind of investments I've made in bringing this role into play. I should have done it a bit sooner. So to answer the question anyway, Richard has helped me put together my three most important financial statements and or financial reports. Now most people know what they are, but a lot of people don't know exactly what they do and how you can kind of utilise them. And so the three reports in this order are your P&L, your balance sheet, and your cash flow forecast. And again, this is all covered in kind of Josh Keegan's program. So if you want to learn more about this stuff, have a look at that, and also reach out to Richard Duffy. I'll give you his details at the end of this video. But what he does, he takes you through a stepping stone. Well, first and foremost, he pulls these reports from Xero, or alternative financial accounting software like QuickBooks is another one, but we use Xero, so it's quite easy. Give sharing access on Xero, and he's tidied up. He spent a lot of time tidying up my Xero account, and this is because A, I have a lot of businesses I operate. B, I had been kind of managing my own bookkeeping and Xero administration using virtual assistants, which I thought was brilliant, and the virtual system was brilliant, but if I'm being brutally honest with you, I didn't know exactly how to do it correctly, and hence my instruction to the bookkeeper wasn't up to scratch. So there's a lot of work in tidying it all up, but then once you get the first reports, you feel this air of clarity. Now I had some of these reports in place already, but they were a little bit inaccurate. Things were catalogued and categorised in the wrong sections, and that can give you, often inaccurate numbers is almost more damaging than no numbers, because you're making decisions based on inaccurate data. So it's both pretty bad. If you don't have reports, period, that's bad. But if you have reports that are inaccurate, it's just as bad, arguably worse, especially if you're making decisions based on that data. So that was a lengthy process, but we got there in the end, and then we produced the 3 reports. And the reason I talked to him in that order is because if you look at a timeline of events, that's when they happen. The P&L is looking historically. How has your business performed over the past month, past year, past several years, past several months? You can obviously play around with the timeline of how far you want to look. The balance sheet looks at your assets and liabilities as it stands as today. So it will look at all of your assets, investments, it will look at your cash, it will look at all your liabilities in terms of your loans, mortgages, all these side of things, and then it should give you a figure at the end, at the bottom, which will tell you your net worth ultimately, or the net worth of the company as such. But you can amalgamate all these all together, of your balance sheets of all your companies, along with your personal scenario, and you can give yourself your own personal net worth position, which is, again, is a super important aspect to have. So that's the balance sheet. And then the third one is the cash flow forecast, and you can only really do this once you've had P&L and you've got the data historically. You can then start getting a trend and a consistency in terms of what income's coming in. You can look at what fixed outgoings you have, you can look at what variable outgoings you have, and you can factor in margins, etc. And you can plan out ahead on your cash flow forecast, which gives you clarity of where you're going, and you can see anything that's coming on the horizon where you think, it's a bit tough, a bit tight, I need to do something about that. So those 3 reports are super important. Now I'm going at a very high level because I'm no expert in this. Your Josh Keegans and your Richard Duffys of this world are the ones that know them and scrutinise them every day, so they know far more than me. I'm just talking about high level and how I use them. But the best thing about the process is not the reports that are generated for me, but it's how we use them. And most people will look at reports, they'll make their own judgments, they can often try and manipulate the data, even psychological, in terms of, it's your business, inevitably you might want to make your business appear that it's doing better than it actually is. And that's where Richard's role becomes into its own, because he will have a monthly meeting with me on each of my businesses where he'll go through each of those 3 financial reports, and he will give me clear directive on what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well. And bear in mind, I could look at these, I'll make my own judgments. However, you could either take my judgment, or you could take somebody who's not emotionally attached to the business, who can look at things with a clear head, who can also dive into his knowledge of seeing thousands of these reports off of all different types of businesses, some that do really well, some that don't do as well. And when you kind of get into that level, he's going to see things that I would probably miss, and he'll raise them with me during the meetings, and he'll say, this is what I suggest we do about this is how we're going to budget for this is what we're going to do for that. He'll also look at debts and loans and the balance sheet, and look at how things can be novated across businesses to make the tax position more efficient. So all these things that I would never ever imagine in my wildest dreams. When I look at a load of data on a report, I'll be looking at how much money have we made, how much did we spend, what's the profit, and if I was really feeling adventurous, I'd probably look at the margin figures as well to see how we're performing on a profitability basis. But that's probably the extent of it. Whereas now I have somebody who is scrutinising these reports for me and giving me an open and honest opinion of where we're at, what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, and what we can do about it. And it's a very solutions-based approach, whereas most accountants out there, and I've dealt with many in the past, will just do the bare minimum and charge you the most. And that's not unfair to say about all of them, because there are some amazing accountants out there, but I unfortunately haven't experienced working with many until I found Richard. So that's hopefully a relatively high level overview of what these reports can do. So if I give you a summary of the steps involved into setting this up, it's number one, you need to find a finance director. Now there is a cost to this, and the cost is normally significantly higher up front, not significantly higher, depending on how messy your existing setup is. If you're starting from a blank canvas, there won't be a huge amount of initial cost at all. And good accountants will look at your cash flow and they'll try and put something in place that's going to work with the scenario that your business finds itself in. There was quite an upfront cost for me because my accounts were a mess, to be perfectly honest with you. Whereas somebody just starting, we've got some new businesses we started, as you should all be aware if you're watching the blog. And the setup process for those was within a couple of hours. It wasn't big at all. Just the bank account setup and all that was a bit more challenging, but the actual financial reporting setup was super easy, and that was done immediately. So if your accounts are in line, it's not a big investment. In actual fact, I saved significant money by outsourcing to a finance director as opposed to an accountant, because this financial director has a return on investment, whereas many accountants will submit you stuff to keep you compliant, do your accounts and stuff. Some will do some tax efficiencies with you where there may be a return for you, but not to the extent that I'm getting a return on this partnership. So go back to my step-by-step order. Number one, you need to have some form of financial accounting software in place. Let me just see. I'm going to turn around here. So Xero, QuickBooks are the kind of the big two. Sorry if it's a bit windy coming back this way. Number two, assess the services that your existing accountant can provide. It may be that your existing accountant can kind of get more hands-on with you. If that's the case, explore that, because you probably have a relationship there already. If not, look for an accountant who does, and obviously you want to make sure that the pricing is in line with what your business can sustain. But you should try and find a way to kind of go down this route, because it will save you a huge amount in the future. I've learned this the hard way. Number three, you want your accountant to pull together the three most important financial reports: your P&L, or profit and loss, your balance sheet, snapshot of where the business is, and your cash flow forecast, where you're going in the future. And that's really, really key to know where you've been, where you are, where you're going. And having the clarity on those three reports is huge. So ask your accountant to generate those reports for you and go through them, and then arrange a monthly meeting with your finance director to go through and scrutinise the reports and work out the appropriate actions for how you're going to drive the business forward and make it more profitable. And as a fifth point, I'll talk to you about this on another episode, is profit first. Now, my finance director is an expert in profit first, so that we can income bucket and we can apportion funds out for tax and things as it comes in, which means you don't have those worries in the future of when you get big tax bills and stuff, because you already accounted for it in real time. So, but profit first is another subject altogether. But it's a little bonus one for this vlog, is that my accountant is an expert in profit first as well. So we're implementing these things into my business as we speak. So hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully there's some good value here. If you don't have an accountant that's doing what you need them to do, you can reach out to my good friend Richard Duffy at Finance Studio. They're based in South Africa, so just search Finance Studio, you should be able to find them. And if you want to do this more yourself, then I strongly recommend you reach out to Josh Keegan, who's also a chartered accountant, but he outsources his financial management to Richard Duffy also. So that says a lot, because Josh is kind of chartered accountant turned more serial entrepreneur. Hence he sees the value in outsourcing to someone like Richard. So hopefully that's useful. As always, if you've got any questions on this, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If this isn't of interest to you and you're seeing this in your social feeds, unfriend, unfollow, no drama at all there. I don't want to clutter up people's social feeds with irrelevant information to them. But before you do go, I strongly recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Runpreneur, whereby the full length feature versions of these vlog episodes are all hosted, and they're catalogued nice and neatly by playlist. So at some point in the future, hopefully there'll be something that will be useful to you, and it's a completely free ad hoc resource. And number two, make sure you join the Facebook Runpreneur group, where all the free resources to this will be hosted. And eventually I'll be putting things like my financial reports, templates and stuff in there as well, so you can see those for yourself. It's a work in progress at the moment, but that's where we will be hosting all of the free resources for this vlog. So that's it for me today. As always, the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs, small business owners overcome stress, anxiety, overwhelm by using exercise as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these emotions that every single entrepreneur, small business owner, big business owner will be experiencing. The difference between success and failure can often be how you manage these emotions. If you don't manage them correctly, pressure builds up, one or two things happens. Entrepreneur breaks down or business breaks down. Either or are going to be terminal to the success of you and your business. So I've been there, I've done it, I've lost businesses because of it. I feel I now have a way where I manage these emotions far more effectively, and as a result I've got more on than I've ever had on. I've got 6 businesses now, and I feel completely in control, completely on point, and completely well underway on my journey to where I want to go, and that's what I want to help others do. So my pledge to you, this is no sale at all. If you are one of these entrepreneurs or small business owners that are struggling with this stuff, just drop me a message. It's no sale, like I said. All it'll be is just a little call, we'll jump on, and I'll try and give you a few pointers on how you can get your life and your business back on track. As I've always said, this vlog can help just one business or one entrepreneur succeed, then it's a 1,000,000% worthwhile. Currently 1 in 10 businesses will last the test of time, which is a hugely alarming stat, especially when we're in a recession and entrepreneurs are generally the lifeblood of the economy to kickstart it again. And with that success rate, we could be in this hole for a long time. So if we can change it, that would be truly amazing. So that's it for me today. As always, what's left for me today is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.